Rays Radio Network. Coming up, we'll deliver a full recap of today's game, including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Mike Shildt's post-game comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
We are live here at Petco Park on this Monday evening. Final score in the series opener between the Padres and the Arizona Diamondbacks, the D-backs 6 and the Padres 3. Sam Levitt inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Final totals today for Arizona: 6 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. And for San Diego, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors as the Padres drop to 48-42. The D-backs improve to 45-46. Lot to do on our post-game coverage. We'll hear from Mike Shildt. We'll also go through the full game recap, give you all the radio highlights, break down each and every aspect of this game. Well, first, let's start with a major positive from this game, and that was the play and moment for Manny Machado. Manny had a big game, 3 hits, a home run, but also collected hit number 2,000 in his career. Quite the moment here at Petco Park earlier in the game, and a big congratulations to Manny Machado. Quite an achievement. We'll talk plenty more about it as the post-game coverage rolls along, but first things first. A big night for Manny. Had a home run for hit number 2,001, but what a moment for Manny Machado with his career hit number 2,000 during the course of what was a 3-hit performance. As far as the rest of this game, Yu Darvish was all right. We knew he wouldn't go deep. He ended up throwing 63 pitches, 3 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs given up, 3 hits. He struck out 5. Walk 3, I think, about what you could expect from Yu Darvish in his first start of the season, coming off the elbow inflammation, all the uncertainty surrounding Darvish over the course of the last few months. He had some good, he had some shakiness in this start. So he goes 3 2/3, 2 runs given up. But I think the story of this game really became 2 things. Number one, the D-backs did a really good job tacking on as this game went along. It went from a 4-1 lead to a 4-2 lead. Then they got 2 really critical runs in the 8th inning to make it 6-2. Yuki Matsui giving up a 2-run home run earlier in the game. Wandy Peralta charged with 2 runs in an inning and a third in this game. So the D-backs did a good job extending their lead, and that ended up making a big difference in this game. The other part of things that was disappointing for the Padres tonight. They had opportunities late in this game. They had a runner in scoring position in the 7th inning, couldn't find a way to get him in after a ground out made it a 4-2 game. Then they had a major opportunity, and really where the game turned in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Padres trailing 6-3 after Manny hits a leadoff home run. They load the bases on walks. Kyle Backus, Juan Murillo all over the place, and then the bottom of the line, Jose Iglesias, who had pinch hit for Trenton Brooks earlier in the game, pops out with the bases loaded. Elias Diaz pinch hits for Maldonado in the number 9 spot. He strikes out with the bases loaded, and then the Padres got a runner on in the 9th inning, could not find a way to capitalize. But again, they had a runner in scoring position in the 7th, couldn't get him in. They had the bases loaded, 1 out in a 3-run game in the 8th inning, and could not do anything with it with the number 8 and 9 spots coming up. All in all, Padres went 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. So that was a major factor of this game. And look, again, you kind of feel like the Padres offensively, even though things have looked more promising over the last handful of games. We talked about it pregame. We talked about it with Tony pregame, the quality of the at-bats. And they showed a little bit of that at times tonight. But again, the Padres just not scoring a ton of runs right now. They score 3 in this game on a grand total of 7 hits. But again, the number you're going to circle, 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, and that showed up in a big way in that bottom half of the 8th inning in particular. We'll step aside when we come back. Our full game recap, we'll hear from Mike Shildt. Much more to do as the Padres fall 6-3 in this series opener against Arizona. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network.
it, let's go. Dance floor pro.
Our post-game coverage continues here on the Padres Radio Network as we welcome you back into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show. Sam Levitt with you inside the Western Metal Building here at Petco Park. Hey, player, the Jamul Casino Resort is your place with a Lux Hotel Tower opening soon, new dining, and a long list of amazing amenities. You'll have more ways to play and enjoy all the perks of your casino fun. Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place, as the Padres fall by a final score of 6-3 in this series opener against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt coming up in a little bit. We may get the post-game audio from Manny Machado. I'll let you know if we do. Would love to hear from Manny after he collected career hit number 2,000 in this game. In fact, got one more, a home run to boot. So 2001 career hits now for Manny Machado, as with that home run, I suppose he now begins his march towards 3,000 hits and 500 home runs as well, with the home run in the eighth inning to make it a 3-run game. And we'll talk a little bit more about Manny later in our post-game coverage, but I think he's in a really good spot as far as those two numbers, 3,000 hits and 500 career home runs. And I say that for a few different reasons, but we'll talk more about it a little bit later, and we'll get into the company that Manny is in with that 2,000th hit here tonight. It is very, very rarefied air. So despite the loss, if you were in the building here tonight, you really, saw Manny enter some really rarefied air as far as Major League Baseball players, and a crowd of north of 40,000 here tonight, the 39th sellout of 2025. Let's recap this one, tell you how it went down, this series opener against Arizona.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Yu Darvish took the mound for the Padres for his first start of 2025. He tossed a 1-2-3 opening frame. In the bottom half, Fernando Tatis Jr. drew a leadoff walk against D-backs starter Zach Gallen. He went to second base on a single for Manny Machado. That was hit number 1,999 for Manny. That brought up Luis Arraez.
3-2, they do not go, and Arraez hits it on the ground right to Naylor. He goes down to second. That's one. Perdomo's turn with Gallen covering. Bounces off Arraez, trickles into right field. Tatis will come in to score, and Luis appears to be injured. Padres take a 1-0 lead.
A 1-0 lead. Luis ended up being okay. Run came in. Padres took an early advantage. The lead, though, was short-lived. Darvish issued a leadoff walk to Josh Naylor in the second. Next up was Eugenio Suarez.
Darvish set and ready on 0-2. Naylor takes off. Darvish had him picked, came home, and a ground ball fair up the third baseline. That'll roll all the way to the corner. Naylor hits third base. He will be waved there, and he'll come in to score as Sheets' throw goes into Machado. RBI double, Eugenio Suarez, and the Diamondbacks have tied it 1-1 here in the second.
In the top of the third, Corbin Carroll hit a leadoff double. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. drove him in with an RBI single. Arizona led 2-1. It stayed 2-1 as we went to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Manny Machado led off.
Machado on the verge of history, the 0-1. Hard hit grounder left side off the glove of the diving Perdomo into left, and number 2,000 for Manny Machado in his Major League career.
2/3 of the way to 3,000 for Manny. What a moment for Manny. The crowd was on its feet for quite some time. The dugout on the on the first base side, the Padres dugout, everybody towards the top step, standing and applauding, and the umpiring crew did a great job giving Manny a moment to acknowledge the crowd and his teammates, and standing ovation here at Petco Park. A wonderful moment for Manny Machado as he collected hit number 2,000 in his illustrious career, future Hall of Fame career for Manny Machado. The Padres would load the bases in that inning, but Trenton Brooks flew out to end the inning. Yuki Matsui was on the mound in the top of the fifth inning, a runner on base for Josh Naylor.
Here's the 0-2 in the air to deep right center field. Narrow, long run into the gap, and this one gonna go. Josh Naylor over that Adam Jones wall in right center field, a long run homer. 4-1 Diamondbacks here in the top of the 5th inning. And a big night already for Josh Naylor, the former Padre.
It would stay 4-1 for a while. Zach Allen was really good tonight for Arizona. He allowed just 1 run in 6 innings of work. Lefty Kyle Backus came on for the bottom half of the 7th inning. Padres got the leadoff man on via a throwing error, then a single from pinch hitter Jose Iglesias, a sac bunt. Got the runners to second and third. RBI ground out from Fernando Tatis Jr. made it 4-2, but that's all the Padres scored. Wandy Peralta finished the 7th inning. He stayed on for the top of the 8th inning, trying to keep it a 4-2 game. He walked the leadoff man. That proved to be costly because later in the inning, it was Corbin Carroll.
Runner on second, 2 outs. Peralta trying to keep this game 4-2. Pitch to Carroll, ripped on a line into right center field. That's in the gap. Going to bounce and roll all the way to the wall. McCann has scored. Carroll's trying for 3. Cronenworth has the relay slip out of his hand, and an RBI triple for Corbin Carroll, his 10th triple of the season. And the Diamondback lead is back to 3. It's 5-2.
That was it for Peralta. Eduardo Nunez came in. He allowed an RBI single to Geraldo Perdomo. It was a 6-2 Arizona lead. However, the Padres weren't going to go quietly tonight. Manny Machado led off the bottom of the 8th.
Manny 2 for 3. Collected his 2,000th hit back in the 4th inning, and now he launches one to deep left field. Grichuk is back at the wall. It's going to go. What a night for Manny Machado. Collected his 2,000th career hit in the 4th, and now his 15th home run of the season, leading off in the bottom of the 8th.
What a moment for Manny Machado. Jesse's right. What a night. Career hit number 2,000 and career hit number 2,001 goes over the left field fence. The D-backs bullpen then proceeded to walk the bases loaded. So all of a sudden, Padres had the tying runs on base and the go-ahead run at the plate. At this point, right-hander Juan Murillo on the mound for Arizona. Murillo got a pop out from Jose Iglesias for the second out. Elias Diaz pinch hit in the number 9 spot. He struck out, and the Padres left them loaded, trailing by 3 in the 8th inning. It was still a 3-run deficit heading to the bottom half of the 9th inning. Right-hander Kevin Ginkel came on out of the Arizona bullpen. Fernando Tatis Jr. drew a leadoff walk. Jackson Merrill then hit a long fly ball to right center. That Arizona center fielder, Alec Thomas, went back on to his left into the right center field gap by the warning track, slid, and made a tremendous catch in deep right center to take extra bases away from Jackson Merrill and really prevented what could have been a huge inning for the Padres. We'll hear that a little bit later, but that was a tremendous catch by Alec Thomas. In fact, that ball would have been out of 11 of 30 Major League ballparks. That's how deep Jackson Merrill hit it. Manny Machado then dug in. Team-ending double play, 5-4-3, and that was the ball game. Final score here tonight: Arizona 6 and San Diego 3. Final totals for the Diamondbacks: 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. For the Padres, 3 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. Padres dropped to 48 and 42. Diamondbacks improved to 45 and 46. Yu Darvish took the loss. He's 0-1. Zach Allen, the winner. He's 7-9, and the save goes to Kevin Ginkel, his 2nd of the season. When we come back to Petco Park, we'll hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Again, Manny Machado records his 2,000th career hit despite the Padres losing 6-3 against Arizona in this series opener here tonight. Our postgame coverage continues after this from Petco Park. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building as we continue our post-game coverage from Petco Park. Final score, the Diamondbacks 6 and the Padres 3 as the Padres fall in the series opener. Game number 90 of 162. Padres entered the day sitting side for the final wild card spot in the National League. We'll update you on the out-of-town scoreboard and those standings coming up a little bit later on in our post-game coverage. Again, the quick version of this game, Yu Darvish made his 2025 debut. Bit of an up-and-down debut, 63 pitches, 3 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs given up, 3 hits allowed. He struck out 5 and walked 3. Yuki Matsui gave up a 2-run home run to Josh Naylor to make it 4-1. That was all after the Padres had an early 1-0 lead. The Diamondbacks would tack on 2 more in the 8th inning after the Padres made it 4-2. So the Padres trailed 6-2. They got a home run for Manny Machado in the 8th inning to make it 6-3. They did have opportunities, big opportunities in the 7th and the 8th, including in that 8th inning when they had the bases loaded and 1 out, trailing by 3. Could not find a way to get a run in after Manny started that inning with a home run to cut it to a 3-run deficit. And that was that here tonight. Padres went 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position, but they did have those golden opportunities late, unable to take advantage. Obviously, a big headline from this game, Manny Machado recording his 2,000th career hit on a single in the 4th inning. Then he got career hit 2001 with the home run in the 8th inning. And again, a big congratulations to Manny Machado. He has really entered very rarefied air with accomplishing 2,000 career hits and 350 career home runs before the end of his age 32 season. And he did turn 33 yesterday, but age 32 season means he started the year at 32. We'll talk more about that a little bit later, but quite an accomplishment and quite a moment earlier tonight at Petco Park for Manny Machado and the more than 40,000 in the building here in downtown San Diego. Let's go downstairs and hear some post-game reaction from the Padres skipper.
Let's pull up a seat in the manager's office and hear from Padres manager Mike Shildt. Served up by Sin Lee Food, where fresh meets flavor. Find farm fresh produce, bold Asian spices, and gourmet ingredients at 4665 El Cajon Boulevard. Sin Lee Food, the cook's Asian resource.
Mike, obviously everyone would have preferred to have seen it in a Padres win, but still a pretty special moment for Manny Machado tonight.
Wow. I mean, literally hats off. And that's quite an accomplishment. We can count on not many hands how many people have done that in this game. And to have done it as soon as he's done it in his career it also speaks volumes. And, just what an accomplishment. I'm so happy for him. He's earned it all. This guy's a self-made guy and has extreme talent, but he's also parlayed his talent into a trajectory that's really special, and 2,000 hits is very special. So we're super happy for him and couldn't be more proud of him.
When you reflect on it, I mean, there's so many things that go into that. There's the excellence, there's the consistency, there's the durability of getting out there on a daily basis like he does. I mean, any one of those things that impresses you the most, or is it the whole package?
It's the whole package. It takes the whole package. I've been blessed to be around some pretty special health and caliber players that do this for a long time, and they have the whole package. It starts with the physical ability. The physical ability is what really separates you as you come up through amateur baseball and to get into professional baseball. It's a lot of times the physical ability that is a real separator. Then you get to a certain point with your physical ability, and then it gets to be about your mental capacity. And, now it gets to be about how you understand how to play the game. And are you going to be able to, always felt like it starts around AA, AAA. But once you get to the big leagues, if you can't get out of your own way and you can't think for yourself and you can't see what the team against the way or the guy on the mound's trying to do against you, you're not going to last very long in this league. You better be super talented. However, when you're super talented like Manny is, and then you're highly intelligent, and then you have the ability to look across the field and see what's taking place and know how they're going to pitch and be aware of situations, where they're going to go at you, where they're going to pitch around you, what they're going to do in certain situations, be able to not only understand what that looks like and still have the physical ability to do it. Now you're looking pretty special. And then the last thing you talked about, which is exactly accurate, the last couple of things really is that they both go hand in hand, and that's the durability and the toughness. In order to accrue numbers that, are 2,000 hits, you got to be on the field. You got to play, and that's why he's a 7-time All-Star. He's on the field a lot. That's why he's accruing big numbers. And toughness is a part of that. It's a mentality. And a wonderful example of that is right after his 2000th hit, the game told him, "Hey, man, we're gonna get a foul ball right off the top of your foot, with a big sinker right on your foot that's fouled off." And then the toughness to finish that at bat, and then, it's a homer the next at bat. That's toughness, and not everybody has those combinations of physical ability to get here, the mental capacity to use it, and then the physical toughness to stay in the competition and still perform when you don't feel your best. And that's the trifecta that is a special player.
Your thoughts on you, Darvish, getting back out there? How do you think you look tonight?
Encouraging. Very encouraging. Shapes were good. Talking to Ruben after the game, he was pleased about the shapes, the way the ball was coming out. My eye test, it was moving well. Velocity was there. You felt good after the game, felt good during the game. So for him to be able to get that 63 pitches, there's a little bit of stress in there. But, and again, he's only going to get better the more he's out there. But, it was very, very encouraging outing for you, and it's good to see him back out there and see number 11 on the mound for the Padres.
Mike, for Manny to kind of be to do it here and kind of the bond that he has with this city, what have you noticed about the way Petco Park seems to embrace him?
This is it's a baseball city. It's turned into a really, 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 one of the better baseball cities and fan bases in all of Major League Baseball. And I shouldn't speak of before I got here, but I was in the league, for a period of time. And there has been a lot of history and success here, with the Padre organization. But the level of consistent engagement coupled with an expectation of having won and continuing to expect to win, which we have, it started with Manny. It really started with that signing. We spoke a little bit about it before the game. Clearly, that was a salvo to the league that says, "Hey, man, the Padres mean business." The good news is it didn't stop at Manny. Otherwise, it wouldn't be where it's at. But it did start with a premier name in Manny Machado, and it was somebody that the city could get behind, that has some real star power and identity, that had an experience, but also is in that sweet spot of his career where he'd done some really significant things, but still had a long runway of special things to still happen. And he's still on that runway, and that's the good news about it. There's a lot of runway left for Manny, for him, and for us. And that's something that people can get behind. And that's something the city's clearly embraced. And, the last part of that is equally important for my seat, just as a big picture. And I can only expect the organization to appreciate this as well. You got a guy that also is entrenched in the community. This is a guy that lives here. He spent a lot of his time in the off season here. He's established roots here, and then he's also invested his time and his resources in this community. And so you don't have a guy that showed up and said, "Hey, I'm grateful for the big contract. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to kind of parachute in and out." Rightfully he can go home to his home base in Miami, but point being is this guy's established roots here, and this guy's established community investment, and he's sincere about it. And the thing is there's some forward-facing things that happen that he lends his name to that are important, and then also there's some things that rightfully he does that no one does need to know about, but that he takes care of people and organization, this community. And then the last piece of it, he's invested in another franchise here, which says a lot. It means a lot that he cares about this city as well. And I think that's super healthy also.
the eighth inning, pinch hitting for Maldonado. You had a couple options there. What was the thinking behind going with Diaz there?
Yeah, I mean, Maldi, we keep him in. He's been pretty good. He's been good against lefties. We get the righty in there. It's a tougher matchup for Maldi. We go one out there. This guy's more of a sinker ball guy. He's on the ground a fair amount. So we would have gone with Bryce, stay out of the double play. But once we're 2 outs, we need a ball maybe that can get in the gap with 2 outs and be able to tie the game or get out of the ballpark and take the lead.
Mike, you've talked about a little bit as he's struggled, but as Jackson continues to go on and he's chasing pitches that he kind of wasn't before, what can you do to get him out of that there?
Listen, there's things that I can do and we'll continue to look at, but ultimately, Jackson, there's a learning curve to this league, and there's it just happens. I mean, Manny, Bogey, you name it in that clubhouse, Todd, they've all, you just go through it, and it's part of what is becoming a major league player. And we talk about trajectories of careers. Jackson's on a really great start of a trajectory of his career. You mentioned some of the attributes that we talk about with Manny. I don't know the numbers, don't need to know the numbers, but we know in conversation with any guy that's played any significant time in this league, they will have struggled. and there's a learning curve to it. And, I don't want to steal any of the attributes that and the praise I gave to Manny, because those are his tonight. But Jackson has them. Jackson has the ability, Jackson has the mentality, and Jackson has the physicality and the mental toughness, and Jackson will come out of it just fine and be better for it. But struggling at the big league level for the first time over a period of time is everybody's birthright to some degree, and he'll come out of it, and he'll continue his trajectory in a very positive way.
That was Padres manager Mike Shildt after the 6-3 loss to the Arizona Diamondbacks on this Monday evening. Sam Levitt back with you inside our loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll touch on a couple of the things that Mike Shildt had to say there. We'll talk a little bit more about Manny Machado, his accomplishment tonight. We'll also talk about Jackson Merrill, because I do think it's worth bringing up tonight. Jackson, the rough stretch it's been, and I'll tell you, I'm not worried about Jackson Merrill, but we'll discuss kind of the last question there about Jackson Merrill and what's been going on with him as of late, and so we'll continue to break this game down. If you want to get a phone call in, 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call if you want to get involved. Final score again tonight, D-backs 6 and the Padres 3. Our postgame coverage continues after this. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside the loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park as we continue to recap today's game. Final score, Arizona 6 and San Diego 3 as the Diamondbacks win the series opener against the Padres. D-backs improved to 45-46. Padres dropped to 48-42 on the season. Before we get to our relief pitcher of the game, catch of the game, you can also get a phone call in 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. The headline from this game from a Padres standpoint, Manny Machado reaching the 2,000 career hit mark. Then he had career hit number 2001 with the solo home run in the 8th inning to make it 6-3. We had mentioned this nugget before in the lead up to Manny's pursuit of 2,000 hits, but I do think it's worth mentioning again because the list is just incredible. After tonight, now that Manny has hit 2,000, here's the list of players with 2,000 hits and 350 home runs by the end of their age 32 season, meaning by the end of their season where they, well, let me rephrase. By the end of the season where they were 32 at the start of it, because Manny turned 33 yesterday. So Manny was 32 at the start of the season. That's what they mean by age 32 season. You got to start the season at 32. Again, the list here, players with 2,000 hits and 350 home runs by the end of their age 32 season. Hank Aaron, Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, Ken Griffey Jr., Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, Mel Ott, Frank Robinson, Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, Alex Rodriguez, and as of tonight, Manny Machado. 12 players have ever done that. 2,000 hits and 350 home runs by the end of their age 32 season. That list is full of Hall of Famers, aside from Miguel Cabrera, Albert Pujols, and Alex Rodriguez. Obviously, Cabrera and Pujols are probably heading there. You know, A-Rod, maybe one day, we'll see, has not been elected to this point. But that's the list. I mean, again, Aaron, Fox, Gary Griffey, Mantle, Mays, Ott, Robinson, Cabrera, Pujols, A-Rod, and Manny Machado. So, again, when we talk about the rarefied air that Manny has put himself in, that's the kind of rarefied air. I mean, that is a clear road to Cooperstown. It's a potential road to 3,000 hits. It's a potential road to 500 home runs. I believe those numbers are going to be within reach for Manny Machado, 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. And you say that for a few reasons. Number one, he's already at 2,350 by now, which is he just turned 33. He's got a while left. He's somebody who has been really durable. He's somebody who plays a ton. He's also somebody that has been remarkably consistent in his career. So you like the time he has left. You like the age he's at. You like the production. You love the consistency. I think he's going to have a great shot to hit those two numbers. And my goodness, if he gets to 3,000 hits and 500 home runs, I mean, that's slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer. Not that we didn't know that already, but that is, again, Manny is on track to be, if he's not already, one of the great third basemen of all time. I mean, he's going to be right up there with the greatest third baseman of all time. One of the great players of this game's history, one of the greatest players of his generation, and a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's the kind of track he's on. And look, I really hope that people appreciate what he is, the consistency, because it's really, really rare. I mean, he's going to be an all-time great when this is all said and done. And I think in all likelihood going to Cooperstown with a Padres logo on his cap. So we're a ways away from that. We're more than a decade away from that. But it is pretty cool to think about, pretty special to think about. And this was a pretty good night and moment to really recognize this illustrious career of Manny Machado. It really is very, very special what he continues to do. Had a big night. Padres did not lose this game because of Manny. Had a big night. And another great moment. And again, it makes you wonder where and when hit number 3,000 could be, where and when home run number 500 could be. I think he's got a real legitimate shot to reach both those numbers, and he's got time to do it. And he shows no signs of slowing down. That's the other part of it. I mean, Manny has shown no signs of slowing down. So he's having a really, really nice year. The power numbers have come up. He's doing a great job, and a big time moment tonight for Manny Machado. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, presented by David P. Shapiro Criminal Defense Attorneys. When your freedom and future are on the line, you need the best arm in the pen. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com.
Our relief pitcher of the game will stay on the positive side of things tonight for the Padres. Bullpen-wise, we'll give to Brian Hoeing, who is good, came in for the 6th inning, put up a scoreless inning, then got the first out of the 7th inning, and Padres ultimately did not allow a run in that 7th inning. So, in total, inning and a third, scoreless, 2 hits allowed, walked nobody, struck out 1, 20 pitches, and 12 for strikes. Nice job by Brian Hoeing. Kept the deficit where it was at the time at 4-1. And unfortunately, not enough for the Padres to win this game. But a nice job by Hoeing. He's our relief pitcher of the game. Let's hear tonight's catch of the game.
Which defensive play had the biggest impact on today's game?
He is at the wall, leaps up, and he makes the catch.
This is the catch of the game.
Gonna hang a star for Jackson Merrill.
Reeled in by Anthony's Fish Grotto La Mesa, celebrating 80 years of seafood excellence.
First pitch on the way. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to deep right center field. Thomas and Carroll are both racing back on the warning track. Thomas slides, and he made an unbelievable catch. Perdomo's relay back to first, not in time to get Fernando, but what a play in right center by Thomas. Slid feet first into the base of the wall to make the catch, 1 away.
What a play by Thomas, and to me, no doubt the catch of the game. I mean, that may have saved the game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Jackson Merrill hit a ball to deep right center, a ball that would have been out in 11 of 30 major league ballparks. That's how well Jackson hit it. I want to pull up the metrics on that ball hit by Merrill, just to let you know how well struck this was. That ball by Merrill, I told you, 11 out of 30 parks, it would have been a home run. He hit it at 104 off the bat. It had, how about this? It had a hit probability of 77%. Alek Thomas had to run 125 feet to go make that catch. It only had a catch probability of 35%. It was a tremendous catch by Thomas by the warning track in right center. And if he doesn't get to it, number one, that might score a run to make it a 2-run game. If not, it puts 2 on with nobody out and brings the tying run to the plate. Either way, would have brought the tying run to the plate in that bottom half of the 9th inning with nobody out. So talk about a huge catch at a huge time for Alek Thomas. No doubt about it. You tip your cap. That was a tremendous play and our catch of today's game. That made Jackson 0 for 5 tonight. And look, you really felt for Jackson when Alek Thomas went back and made that play, because it's been a rough go for Jackson as of late. He's struggling. There's no doubt about it. And he finally tattoos one into right center, and Thomas goes and makes that play. And you just thought to yourself, you felt for Jackson. He finally gets a hold of one, and then it gets taken away on that great play by Thomas, and he went 0 for 5 tonight. It's been a rough stretch for Jackson. He's been expanding the strike zone, chasing, certainly as to me it is, and I think there's no doubt, it's been the toughest stretch of his early major league career as of late. While that can be true, am I worried about Jackson Merrill? I'm not. This is a normal thing that superstars and baseball players, and especially second-year players that are 22, they will go through. Take a look at Corbin Carroll, what he went through for months last year, as a pretty good example of what sometimes happens. And that is, Jackson's slump has not reached that proportion that Carroll was in last year. I mean, he had a months-long slump last year before he got it going, and then has put together an amazing season in his third year in the major leagues. So it's normal. It happens. And now Jackson, he's a great young player. He's going to have to do what a great young player does, make some adjustments, figure it out, and battle his way through it. But am I worried about Jackson Merrill? No, I'm not. This happens. This happens to a young player, and he's going to have to do what a great young player does. And I believe he is certainly in that category, and make some adjustments and figure his way through it. And I'm sure he will. But obviously, it's been a rough stretch for him, and you just felt for him because he finally gets a hold of one tonight, and it's caught by Thomas on that great play in deep right center. So hopefully better days to come for Jackson Merrill. We'll step aside. When we come back, we may, I'm saying may, have post-game reaction for Manny Machado. We may. Stay tuned for that. Possibly. No promises, but I'm working on it. Full out-of-town scoreboard. And we'll also wrap things up, get you ready for the game, for the second game of this 4-game series tomorrow evening here in downtown San Diego. Again, the final score tonight, Arizona 6 and San Diego 3. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues after this on the Padres Radio Network. Welcome back to the Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show, brought to you by the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place. Sam Levitt with you inside our loft here at the Western Metal Building at Petco Park. Final score, Arizona 6 and San Diego 3 as the D-backs win the series opener here at Petco Park. We'll have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll also get you ready for Game 2 of this series tomorrow. But I do want to go downstairs, hear some post-game reaction from Manny Machado on this very special night for Manny. Despite the loss, he collected career hit number 2,000, a 3-hit night for Manny, a home run in the 8th inning to pick up career career hit number 2001. Very, very special moment. The crowd was great. Standing ovation. His teammates towards the top step of the first base dugout, all applauding him. They took a moment, the stadium did, to recognize Manny in the moment, and a great job by everybody, including Manny Machado, who collects career hit number 2000. Like we said in our last segment, we went through the list of players that have hit 2,000 hits and also collected 350 plus home runs by the end of their age 32 season. It is a pretty remarkable list. So very rarefied air for Manny Machado to be in as he continues his tremendous Hall of Fame career. I am going to warn you, I know what it is. There's a vacuum in the background of this clip at different points. So that's the buzz you hear in the background. I do think you can make out everything that Manny says from what we've heard. So I apologize if it's not the best audio in history. Got a little buzz back there, and I'm pretty sure it's the vacuum in the clubhouse. So bear with us. But tonight I thought, hey, let's go ahead and let's play it. Let's hear from Manny Machado on this special night for him.
Congratulations. Obviously, you prefer to have it in a win, but how special a moment was it to reach this milestone?
Yeah, definitely. Special and honored to be a part of that list and accomplish something pretty special. So yeah, definitely would have wanted the victory, but stepping away from that, it's kind of pretty cool.
Pretty meaningful that you're able to do it in front of the San Diego fans here.
For sure, it's awesome. Doing it in front of the home crowd is definitely a lot better, and hopefully there's more.
Yeah, this is something that only 1% of ball players that ever take the field get a chance to accomplish. I mean, this takes a certain level of excellence. It takes consistency. It takes durability. Which of those characteristics do you think stands out most to you, or is it the whole package?
Oh man, it's hard. I think you mentioned it. It's hella hard.
Yeah.
Trying to get two over the weekend or even for a week now. I mean, it kind of makes you realize how hard it is and how hard this game is, and to get one hit in the big leagues, it's very extremely hard, and let alone you look up there and you got 2,000 of them. I mean, that right there, you kind of just notice how special it is, and how special this game is. So yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
What was it like to see your wife and your son when you did that?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was special. I mean, obviously they've been there from day one, so to be a part of that journey. I mean, it's pretty cool. So seeing them up there and celebrating and kind of taking it in like I did, it's always special.
Where will you put the ball?
I don't know yet. Yeah, I got it. I don't know yet. I don't know where. I got a few things I got to put up. I don't know where. I got to talk to the boss to see where I can put it.
Are you glad it came at home, 2000?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I wish it would have came a little earlier and not stressed out a little bit too much, but yeah, I mean, it definitely makes it a lot better during the home crowd.
Manny, what does it mean to you when everyone gives you a standing ovation and everyone's just cheering your name as you get that hit?
I mean, it's special. I mean, obviously, it's to do it in front of your home crowd and then to stand up and give you a standing ovation. I mean, it's pretty cool and something I'm never going to forget.
You're in some pretty incredible company in baseball. I mean, when you look at that list and you see your name, what does that mean to you?
I mean, ultimately, it's like I said before, it's so, like, this week has kind of make you realize how hard it is to get one hit in the big leagues. And when you look up there and you're celebrating 2,000, I mean, you want to step back a little bit and kind of just take it in and soak it in. This game is extremely hard, and super grateful that I'm able to even be a part of that list and be a part of this journey. So hopefully there's many more, and it's not over yet.
How much better do you feel at 2,000 hits physically than you did when you got 1,000 hits?
I don't know. I mean, it's just they're different. They're different moments. They kind of sit in their own places. But definitely doing it at home, I think, makes it a lot more special.
That list is obviously a very exclusive one. There's another very exclusive one that's 999 away. You think you can get there?
I mean, I hope that's the plan. It's the plan. I'm gonna shoot for it. I got a couple more years left here on the contract, so hopefully they come in.
And then it sounded like it was weighing on you a little bit, but it didn't look like it. I mean, you just kept going out there and having productive at bats and making a difference in these ball games. Is that just experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's about winning the game, right? You go out there and you compete. You know, I mean, you face some good teams over that stretch, and I just want to go out there and compete. Obviously, in the back of my mind, you know how many you have left to get it and reach it, and yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I'm telling you, I'm not even lying about it. It was on my mind, and it definitely makes you realize how hard it is to get one.
That was Manny Machado from inside the Padres clubhouse. The final score, Diamondbacks 6 and the Padres 3, but a great moment for Manny Machado. And you heard the question there from AJ Cassavell about the number that's 999 hits away. That's the illustrious 3,000 number. And Manny said it, right? I mean, he's going to be here for a few years. He's got a number of years left on that contract, more than a few years left. So, look, I think Manny 100% can very realistically have his sights set on 3,000 and 500 home runs. Now, he's got a lot of work to do. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay productive, all those things. But based on where he is right now, the level of production, the consistency, to me, those numbers are attainable for Manny. They are, to me, very attainable for Manny. So we'll see. It's got a ways to go, but pretty special night for Manny Machado, despite a tough night in the team sense with the Padres losing this series opener. Let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
Quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Giants beat the Phillies 3-1 in San Francisco. Angels beat the Rangers 6-5 in Anaheim. Guardians beat the Astros 7-5 in Houston. Blue Jays beat the White Sox 8-4 in Chicago. Royals beat the Pirates 9-3 in Kansas City. Brewers beat the Dodgers 9-1 in Milwaukee. Marlins beat the Reds 5-1 in Cincinnati. Red Sox beat the Rockies 9-3 at Fenway. And the Tigers beat the Rays 5-1 in Detroit. And that's a full look, a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Number of teams had off on this Monday. Well, Manny's base hit for 2,000, that was certainly the most memorable part of the night. But as far as the biggest hit of the night that made a big difference in the final score, well, let's hear tonight's play of the game.
The line between winning and losing can be razor thin. Which play was the difference between victory and defeat? This is today's Play of the Game, presented by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Here's the 0-2 in the air to deep right center field. Merrill, long run into the gap, and this one gonna go. Josh Naylor over that Adam Jones wall in right center field, a long 2-run homer. 4-1 Diamondbacks here in the top of the 5th inning. And a big night already for Josh Naylor, the former Padre.
Josh Naylor, 2-run home run to make it a 4-1 game in the 5th inning, and that helped the Diamondbacks to ultimately a 6-3 win against the Padres here tonight. As always, if you missed any portion of our post-game coverage, you can go back and listen to all of it on the Inside San Diego Baseball podcast, or you can go on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube channel and watch any portion of our post-game coverage there as well. Taking a look ahead to tomorrow, same time, same place. In fact, it's a 6:40 start time for the remaining 3 games of this series. 6:40 first pitch tomorrow. Pre-game coverage from Petco Park begins at 5:40. Right-hander Merrill Kelly on the mound for Arizona. Right-hander Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Padres. Final totals in this series opener tonight. For Arizona, 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. They left on 9. For San Diego, 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left on 9 as well. Winning pitcher, Zach Gallen, who improves to 7-9. Losing pitcher, Yu Darvish, who drops to 0-1. And the save goes to Kevin Ginkel, his 2nd of the season. Time of game, 3 hours and 7 minutes in the crowded Petco Park, the 39th sellout of 2025, 40,045 the attendance here in downtown San Diego. Once again, first pitch tomorrow at 6:40. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Nick Danucci, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long and good night from Petco Park. Again, the final score here tonight, the Arizona Diamondbacks 6 and the San Diego Padres 3. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the Padres Radio Network. Have a great night, everybody.